In uncertain times like this, you need a car that can get you anywhere without any problem. You need a car that can run almost anything. You need a car that has lasted the last 30 years and still remains to this day as one of the most reliable platforms available. You need a W123 Mercedes 300D turbo diesel. These turbo diesels, although they have the reputation for being bulletproof, they have the reputation for lasting 1,000,000 miles without a rebuild, have a lot of issues that you need to look for when trying to find one that's perfect for you. These are 40-year-old cars, okay? These were made and designed in the 70s. It is 2020, 40-something years old, okay? These cars are gonna have issues that are due to its age and nothing else. You're gonna have to look for things like rust. You're gonna have to look for things like leaky door seals. If your door seals are leaking, your back seats, the floor pans are gonna be wet all the time, okay? You need to look for the instrument cluster. With these cars, the instrument cluster tends to go bad whenever it wants. These cars, the odometer will just stop working one day, and then you'll never have a record of how long this car has been driving ever again. You need to look for vacuum line issues. Because these cars are 40 something years old, they're gonna have vacuum line issues. The vacuum lines control everything on this car, okay? Everything from the HVAC system to the center locks to the power windows to transmission shifting right to idle is all controlled by the vacuum line. So this is going to be something you have to look for when shopping for your 300D. Other common problems include the engine won't shut off when you take out the key. There is actually an engine shut off switch underneath the hood that you can use. Suspension components tend to go out with these cars. They've just been driven a long time. They've been 40 years. People usually don't replace them. It's around the time when people are starting to buy them as a good second-hand vehicle. People are starting to realize the capabilities. So replace your suspension components, y'all. They're gonna go bad. They're probably already bad on most of these cars. Most of them probably ride so boaty, so floaty, you don't want to even deal with that. So when you're looking for your turbo diesel, you got to remember that the W123 only came in turbo for the years 1979 through 1986. Everything before that was a naturally aspirated diesel, and you don't want these. These are super slow. The turbo diesel has 123 horsepower, so the non-turbo version definitely has under 100 horsepower. It's not even highway worthy. You won't be able to drive fast. It's not even that safe, to be honest. So you definitely want to get a turbo 1979 or later. But with all those things in mind, y'all, let's get to my first website, Facebook. Let's see what we got on Facebook in terms of 300Ds for sale. So looking at Facebook, we want to find a 300D with less than 200,000 miles. I know these will last a long time, but you got to keep in mind that most of these instrument clusters aren't accurate in terms of the odometer. A lot of them have been replaced. A lot of them just stopped working. So you got to find one in overall good condition. You want to find one that's not sitting on grass. You want to find one that's been in someone's garage or sitting in someone's driveway for the last 20 years, okay? Let's look at this one. 1985. This is a good year. It's one of the last model years. This one seems to be messed with. It has some aftermarket lights. It has some floodlights on the bumper. This one has been properly messed with. Everything has been done to this one. You can tell this one has had plenty of owners. It has different wheels. Got different pictures of what's wheels it had in the past. I like the spec on this one. The blue interior for this is always going to be a good color. It looks nice. It contrasts well with the brown accents, the wood accents. You can see he has a dash cover on to protect the dash. The dashes on these do crack, as with most cars from this era. Again, this pretty clean car. The leather doesn't seem to be ripped. Doesn't really show the driver. Oh, yeah, they do. Clean interior car, 200,000 miles. Although the mods are kind of questionable, the lights look kind of tacky, the wheels look tacky. It is a clean car. This is something you want to look for. You want to look for something that's been driven a lot. You don't want to look for something that's sitting. This one seems to be a good deal. 3,200, a little high for these. You want to be paying around $2,000 for one of these. These can get pretty costly in terms of repairs when you're repairing the vacuum lines and going through and replacing everything that's rusty and whatnot. So you want to keep the initial cost pretty low. All right, this one looks pretty good. We have a 1983 300D with 164,000. Automatic transmission. Again, for the United States, these only came in automatic for the turbo models. See, this car is a little beat up. As you can see, the sides a little banged up. You're missing some trim pieces. This is like a driver. You can tell that it's in good condition in terms of being drivable. The interior is actually in pretty nice condition. No tears. You can see the dash isn't even cracked. It does say the valve cover gasket leaks some. You're going to have to replace these gaskets, y'all, when you get these cars. So valve cover, oil pan. Just be ready to replace everything rubber. Anything that ages bad, like rubber. That includes gaskets, as I said before, vacuum lines. All right, here we have another one. It's $2,000. This one is around the price you want to be looking for, under 200,000 miles. This one is a little dusty, y'all. As you can see, it does have some tears in the seats. The interior doesn't look too good. These interiors can get a little moldy if the cars have been sitting a while. As you can see, let me go back to the interior pictures. You can see some mold on the carpeting right here. This car doesn't seem too clean. You definitely could negotiate on this, get it down to closer to 1,000. It'd be better of a deal. It says it runs good, which is always a good sign. You want one that runs. You don't want one that hasn't ran in a while, because you really don't know what you're getting into. As with a lot of these, they haven't been running in a while. People just let these sit and are now trying to get rid of them because they see that there's all of a sudden a demand. Here we have an 84 300D, 2 owners. See, this one does not run. You don't want to get into something like this. It says parked a year and a half ago. It doesn't run, although it is parked on solid ground. That's a good thing. You just never know. Ideally, you want to find one where the owner has redone the vacuum lines. The vacuum lines are going to cause you the most problems in terms of drivability, because again, as I said, it affects everything in the car. Everything is linked together with vacuum lines. And when they're made out of 40-year-old rubber, you know they're not going to last that long. Although this is way out of our price range, I did see a clean example right here. 1985, this would be one of the last model years. Good condition, red, nice clean car. As you can tell, it's been garage kept. Interior is clean. It's a nice spec, very clean car. Odometer is broken. They said the mileage is at 500,000, and they're probably right, but this one has been running. The key with these cars is you want one that has been running the entire time, right? You don't want one that has been running for a while and then it sat recently, or ones that has been running in a long time, because with these engines, they stay reliable if they keep running. It's when they stop running is when they start breaking. Gaskets tend to go bad when the engine isn't being lubricated, right? If there's not enough heat, if everything is cold, everything gets brittle. As I said, y'all, you want to try to find one with under 200,000 miles for under $2,000 or around $2,000. There are plenty of deals to be had, but you're gonna have to do a lot of negotiating with these cars, because their prices are gonna be all over the place. You got some for closer to 10 grand, you got some for under 1,000, right? And that is just gonna be reflective on the quality. They're gonna be ones that are complete junk, and they're gonna be garage cleans. You just gotta find one somewhere in the middle that has a good balance of a good price and has been taken care of. Right, moving over to Craigslist. Craigslist has some deals. We got a 1984 for a 2800. Bumper is already looking bad. Front already looks messed up. Looks like it's been in a minor accident. Sitting in a junkyard. I don't know what this car has been doing, how long it's been sitting. 205,000 miles. This one looks pretty beat up, y'all. It says the engine starts up fast. You want to get some more information. Has the original books. You know, that's all stuff is good, but you want a car that is in good condition, y'all. You want a good starting point. See, we got a $13,900 example. Let's see how clean this one is. It has 81,000 miles. I guess this is a rust-free example. You do want to look for rust. Most of these are gonna have a lot of rust, and this one does not. This would be a good car to just look at if you're trying to figure out what you want when you're looking for your 300D, but do not go for this car for $13,900. You want to find one for 10 grand less than that at least. Here's a clean example. Blue interior, gray exterior, good spec. 230 miles. They're asking 4,800. Way too high in my opinion. You should get this in the mid twos for over 230,000 miles, right? No rust. There's definitely going to be rust. Definitely is rust. I see rust, right? I see rust right here. Not that many deals on Craigslist. Not the site it used to be. It's really unfortunate. It used to be my favorite site, y'all. I'm sure it used to be a lot of you guys' favorite sites too, but it's a nice red example. Has some tint on it. Tint on these cars always looks strange. Clean interior, as you can see. No tears in the seats. The carpet doesn't look too dirty. Dash looks okay. I don't know why they took a terrible picture like this. 210,000 miles, asking $5,000. You could probably get this to the mid threes just because of how clean it is. Red cars are always going to go for a higher price. These are going to be one of the more rarer spec cars. Red. Most of the cars came in black, silver, white. Again, I think we looked at this one before. Paint job is terrible. You want to find a clean one that has good paint. Right? You don't want a car with bad paint, because that just is indicative of everything else the car has gone through. Going to Auto Trader. Hopefully there's some deals on Auto Trader. I haven't seen that many deals today on anything, and I don't see that many on Auto Trader, to be honest. The cheapest one is $4,000, but let's be real here. Auto Trader is usually for cars of this century. People don't really shop around for old cars on AutoTrader like this. It's more of your local websites like Craigslist and Facebook that are going to have more of the ads for these types of vehicles. They will have some of the more cleaner cars. I will say that the ads seem to be more better curated. People take better photos. Let's click on the cheapest one, 250,000 miles, silver on black, clean car. As you can see, the paint's real nice. Interior is nice. It is the blue interior. Again, one of my favorite interiors. Silver on blue is always going to be a good spec for these cars. But I don't see that many deals on AutoTrader. We can go up in price a little bit just to see what they got. Let's see. Let's look for the most expensive example on AutoTrader. 88,000 miles, blue car, 16.9 they're asking for. This one looks clean. It doesn't even look blue. It looks black, to be honest. Ooh, it has the different headlights. I love these boxy headlights. These look so much better than the round headlights. Nice spec. Ooh, with the tan interior. The only time I approve of a beige interior, y'all, is with the blue exterior. Y'all should know that. Otherwise, it's an old people spec. Tan interior, old people spec, except when it's on a blue car. That's classy. That's yacht status. 17 grand though. You can miss me with that. All right, no deals on AutoTrader right now. We want something for less than 3 so we can negotiate on it. All we got here is 4. Granted, the $4,000 one was a nice spec, but let's move to CarGurus. CarGurus always has the deals. The first one is actually 300 SD for 1,500 bucks. But this is what I'm talking about. We need to find cars like this, right? Let's look at this 1981 300D. See, with the other lights, the other car, the square headlights and standard ones are actually the round ones. I'm not sure as to what spec the square headlights are. I don't know if it's like a Euro spec version or what, but they look so good. Again, another silver on black car. It's a pretty good spec. Doesn't seem too dirty. It is from Washington State. Again, with these cars, you really just got to inspect under the hood. The interior is always going to be in decent condition because these cars, the interiors pretty much last forever. It's all about the vacuum lines and the brittle materials. All right, we got a car with 120,000 miles. It looks rough though. It looks a little rough. It looks like it hasn't ran in a while. Trunk dirty, floor is dirty, black on black. Or silver on black, gray on black, I guess, charcoal on black. Yeah, this low price and low miles is it's kind of worrisome. I don't know what you would be getting into with something like this. It looks like it's been sitting at a lot for a while, so you don't even know the last time it was ran. You don't even know the people who work at that dealership know how to take care of these types of cars. You don't even know if they care. So I don't know if I would go for something like that. Again, you guys want to make sure you find a car that is in good running condition and has been for the past years. You don't want anything that has been sitting, or else you will have a lot of problems. These color matching wheels are always interesting to me. I don't know if I love them or hate them. They make the car kind of look like a fire truck in this case. I don't know. It's cool, I guess. It looks interesting, but I do like this red though. This red is growing on me. It's a nice Ferrari spec car right here. We got red with a tan interior. It's actually a nice looking car, to be honest. The red wheels are kind of growing on me. But for 3,500, we got to get that under 2 grand. Under 3 grand. It has low miles, but I think we can get under 3 grand. This would be a steal for under 3 grand. Red on beige with the matching red hubcaps. The matching wheels are always going to be a rare spec. All right, moving on. We're kind of getting out of our price range. As you can see, CarGurus is always going to have the bottom of the barrel. They're going to have the deals, but we're going to get out of the deals pretty fast as we get to almost $7,000 at the bottom of the page. As you can see, this one has the yellow matching wheels as well. If you guys are lucky, you can find this in a wagon or a coupe. I do like the coupe. I'm a big fan of the 300CD coupe. Something about it just looks so classy, especially with the right wheels. But again, these usually will fetch a higher price as they are much rarer than the sedan. Same goes with the wagon. The wagon is also something people sought after, but it is a little rarer than the sedan, so you won't see them as much. But you know, with wagons, people love them or hate them. Here we have a really expensive example. I hate 300Ds with these chrome wheels and it's small chrome wheels. They put them on all the time and they look disgusting. They look gross. Like, these look like Lexus wheels. I don't know who put those wheels on, but this one is a clean example. It is at a dealership. Looks like it's in a showroom, so you know it's gonna be clean. Low miles, I think 75,000 miles on this one. Definitely not worth 15 grand though, especially with those hideous wheels. All right, moving on to eBay Motors. Let's see if we can find any deals on eBay Motors. I know we won't. I know we won't, but let's see if we can. 11 bids on this first one, 1985, so it is a late model year. not the cleanest, but looks like properly used. It looks like it runs pretty well just from looking at it, because I can make those types of assumptions. But the reserve is not meant. It's already a 2375, so you know it's gonna go at least to around 4s before the reserve mint. It's a little high for a sight unseen bid. I would not pay anything over 2,500 for one of these in general, let alone a sight unseen bid. Here's that one we looked at before with the matching red wheels. They were asking almost 7 grand, and it's only a 2,700 with 1 day left. No reserve. No reserve. Someone might be able to capitalize on that as long as the bids don't get too high. It has 17 bids, so you know people are going to be trying to snipe that. Look, I know the 5-cylinder turbo is a stout engine and it'll last forever, but it's never going to command double-digit prices. It's just not that special of an engine. It doesn't excite people enough. It's a stout, reliable workhorse, but that's it. But yeah, y'all, I see a bunch of in the teens and the 20s. I know there's a lot of coupes in there and a lot of cars that aren't 300Ds, but you get the idea. These are pretty expensive on eBay Motors. But that's it, y'all. Again, I just want to make sure that you guys understand what you're getting into, and you're getting into the most reliable car ever made, the best platform ever made for a workhorse like the 300D, right? These cars do have the fair share of issues. They do have rust problems. They are 40 something years old, right? You're gonna have to look for rust problems. You're gonna have to look for problems with everything that's made out of any any degradable material, not biodegradable, but any degradable material like rubber. So you want to look at gaskets, you want to look at vacuum lines. The vacuum lines control everything from your idle to your shifting to your power windows to your central locks, everything. So you want to make sure you get a kit for the vacuum lines. Just redo all the lines when you first get the car. And you want to make sure you look at the suspension. It's definitely gonna have worn out suspension components, so just do your due diligence. Go through your car, find out what parts you need, and get the suspension taken care of right away, because it will just give you problems in the future. And oil leaks. These cars are going to leak a lot of oil from the valve cover. They're going to leak a lot of oil from the oil pan, just with any car of this age. If you are getting into one of these, just make sure you go over all the gaskets. Make sure you replace them all with gaskets. Don't just do RTD or anything like that. Make sure you get real gaskets that work, because you don't want to be dealing with any of these problems in the future. But that's it for today, y'all. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what car you think I should shop for next. And y'all have a good one.